Hi, Bitterkins! Bitters here with our first magical booze profile. I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite liqueurs today. It is one of the few that I can actually drink straight, and I'm going to talk to you about Sloe Gin. This is Plymouth Sloe Gin. This is good stuff. Here is what's going to happen. I am going to go over I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the booze itself, kind of its flavor and what you use it in, that kind of thing. And I'm also going to talk about the plant that this particular libation comes from. And I'm also going to talk to you about some of the magical connotations that come into this liqueur because of that plant. So let's get started. So, Sloe Gin is, let's just get one thing real straight, real quick. Sloe Gin, which is red, by the way, does not taste like gin. Because inevitably, what I always hear when I talk to someone about Sloe Gin, because they'll say, oh, I'm looking for, something really fruity and really good, and I'm like, have you had Sloe Gin? Have you tried Sloe Gin? If I proselytize anything, if I knock on doors about anything, and tell people that it is amazing, it is Sloe Gin. Inevitably, I hear, oh, but I don't like gin, it tastes like a pine tree. Sloe Gin is a different animal entirely. They use gin to make Sloe Gin. Sloe Gin does not taste like gin. Sloe Gin tastes like heaven. Sloe Gin tastes a lot like a plum and a red currant had a baby. A delicious, delicious baby. And it is really sweet, very, very fruity. Like I said, this is one of the best things that I've had for a long, long time. I really enjoy it. So, Sloe Gin actually comes from the berries of the blackthorn plant. So if you're not familiar with blackthorn, I'm going to talk to you about it a little bit. Blackthorn is a native to kind of Europe and kind of Englandy area, and it may have been the inspiration for the thorns around Sleeping Beauty's castle. It is a big, wicked, thorny-looking plant. Like, it is big. It normally grows in big hedgerows. It's not really a tree. It's big, scary hedge is what it usually comes in, with big, wicked thorns on it. And the berries of the blackthorn actually are ripe right after the first frost of the year. And the blackthorn plant, in and of itself, not just getting to the actual berries, but the blackthorn plant in and of itself has some very deep roots in crone work and work with the underworld and protection work. You actually make the shillelagh, if I remember right, is actually crafted traditionally from blackthorn because it is a very sturdy wood and it happens to have this really convenient knob at the end of the branch where it actually meets into the root ball part. There's a little knob there. So you didn't have to carve one. It made it really easy to actually make into a walking stick because it had a pre-made handle on it. It's also a very pretty wood if you ever get to take a peek at it. It's got a nice like honey color and then like black bark. It's actually really pretty. But it's got deep associations with kind of the darker time of the year, a little bit of darker work as well. It's got crone connotations, it's got some connotations with the underworld, because it's big and wicked looking, and because it's so hard, and because the berries are ripe after the first frost. It's kind of odd that snap of cold is what they need to actually get sweet and to get ripe. So that is one of the big things about Sloe Gin, and the berries are harvested not just for Sloe Gin, but they're also made into preserves. which I would like to hunt down, because they seem like they would be delicious. Like I said, somewhere in between a red currant and a plum is the flavor of this particular libation. And so because of the plant, the magical connotations tend to be, if you're doing some shadow work, or if you're working with deities like Hecate. I have used sloe gin as offerings to Hecate before. Or if you're working with Hades, or possibly if you're working with the Morrigan's not one of my... she doesn't talk to me, but she's a darker lady, so she might enjoy this particular libation. Like I said, I've given it to Hecate. She digs it, at least from my own personal experience. So it's something that I have found to work well when I am working with those forces. And the blackthorn has a very protective energy because of those big thorns on it. Traditionally, to find out if the berries are ripe, you actually prick one of the berries with a thorn from the blackthorn plant, to see if the berries run red. So yeah, they're so one of the things that I do want to talk about sloe gin a little bit is that sloe gin in more recent years has kind of gotten a bad rap. Because there have been some rapscallion alcohol producers that have decided to scrimp on the production of it and use really artificial colors and use a lot of sugar and use artificial flavoring, and it's gotten gross. The reason I recommend Plymouth is because of Amy Stewart's fantastic book that I will do a review on very shortly, The Drunken Botanist. She recommended the Plymouth, and I had not had sloe gin until I read her book, and I read the section about sloe berries and sloe gin, and I said, that sounds amazing. I'm going to go find a bottle. And I did. And I found a bottle, and I almost bought it, and then didn't. I actually got 2 feet past the register after purchasing it, and then returned it because I couldn't afford it at the time. This was $35. I wish I had not returned it the first time I bought it. This is amazing. When I did actually purchase this, because I didn't get to taste it beforehand, please remember that. I didn't get to taste it beforehand. I bought this, and I bought it was like fate happened. I bought this, and I bought a 4-pack of the Fentiman's Victorian Rose Lemonade. I'm going to tell you right now, if you can get your hands on the Fentiman's Rose Lemonade and a bottle of sloe gin, your evening is set. That is some potent stuff right there. Not only is it pink and bubbly and delicious, but there is some deep love and energy that can happen when you mix the lemon and the rose and the sloe gin together. It's a pretty potent little combo right there, and you can get some work done. I adore it. It's, like I said, it's delicious, but when I remember opening the bottle of sloe gin, and I remember smelling it, and it smells like some sort of old world fruit candy. I remember smelling it and going, oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. And I was at a friend's house, and I grabbed a shot glass, and I drank some straight. And I do this even though I don't drink a lot of alcohols, liqueurs, hard alcohol. I don't drink a lot of it straight in general, just because I'm a little bit of a wuss, and I don't deal with alcohol burn very well. But I will taste it to get the taste first to see how I can work with it. This I could drink straight. Like, it was delicious. It wasn't too sweet. Like, a lot of liqueurs are too sweet. Just the sugar content is off the charts. But this was sweet. It was like really badass fruit juice. It didn't have a lot of burn. It didn't have anything. And I just remember handing the bottle to my friend and going, "You have to smell this." And he just smells it, and this is a friend of mine that went to culinary school, and he is kind of a food nerd, and he just went, "Oh, wow." And I said, "You have to taste this." And he took a little swig, and he went, "Oh, that's not even fair." It was kind of transcendental, my first sloe gin experience. So I highly recommend it. If you want a slightly more thorough description, as well as the recipe for a sloe gin fizz, I'm going to put a link to my blog in the down bar. Take a peek at it. It's a slightly more formalized review, a little bit more information there than what I've shared here. But like I said, go for the good stuff. First of all, I recommend Plymouth. It's a great brand. Spend a little bit extra. Like I said, go for the good stuff, and give sloe gin a shot, especially if you are interested in bringing cocktails into your craft, and you are working with some of those deities, or even as an offering to some of those deities. It has, in my personal experience, it has worked fantastically for me. My chosen deity adores it. I like it too. So thank you so much for watching. Bitters and blessings. Have a fantastic evening.